We've just gone through. They've gotten champions all the way through the 140-pound weight class, and we're about ready to get underway at 145 pounds. Here we go. The matchups in Class A. Brandon Smith, 30-6, a senior from Gering, will face Joe Hugg, 30-3, a senior from Bellevue East. In Class B, it's Stephen Vach, 35-0, undefeated senior from Sydney. He'll meet Jeramie Schoepf, 28-4, a senior from Seward. In Class C, Randy Hansen, 29-3, a freshman from Stanton. He'll face Bubba Stork, 36-0, a junior from Arlington. And in Class D, MJ Lyon, 32-2, a senior from Rushville. He meets Hemelstrand, 35-0, undefeated senior from Arapahoe. Well, some undefeated wrestlers in here. In Class D, kind of interesting, number 1 against number 1, because Hemelstrand, who wrestled one match at 140, was ranked number 1 at that weight class. MJ Lyon ranked number 1 at 145. Hemelstrand is unbeaten. MJ Lyon 32-2.
Stephen Vach already in on a quick takedown in Class B. Stephen Vach from Sydney wrestling Jeramie Schoepf of Seward. Seward's made an impressive showing here as a team. They're sitting in second place right now to Omaha Gross. Obviously, they can't overtake Gross. We've already said that. They still could lose second place because Albion has 4 wrestlers still yet to come. But I was really impressed with how well they wrestled in this tournament.
I think the interesting thing, too, is Vach was a state champion as a freshman, then got 3rd as a sophomore and 2nd last year as a junior. He'd like to cap it off as a champion as a senior. Jeramie Schoepf has not medaled, so big opportunity for him.
Jeramie Schoepf is a dangerous wrestler, though. He's a thrower. I mean, he's a thrower and a pinner. I watched him a couple times earlier in the week. Boy, we've got a lot of action over in the Class A mat already. Brandon Smith.
Brandon Smith of Gering getting the takedown, and near falls. He leads it now 5-2 over Joe Hugg.
Joe Hugg, this is his 2nd time in the finals. Last year he lost to Zach Dominguez, who we just saw win his state title earlier at 135 for Creighton Prep. This is a kind of a cradle situation. Brandon Smith going to get another couple of near fall points.
We have a 2-0 lead in Class B, as Stephen Vach leading Jeramie Schoepf. In Class D, it's a 2-0 lead for MJ Lyon of Rushville over Jared Hemelstrand of Arapahoe. And we have a stoppage right now in Class C with no score.
That actually, we were mistaken there. That 3-point near fall ties the score 5-5. And they've only been wrestling a minute and a half. They've already scored 10 points. We've got an injury time on Class C. Bubba Stork, I think, got a little cut. Bubba Stork, he's the returning state champ, 36-0 this year. He was undefeated last year. He actually has only had about 6 points scored on him all year. And he's not a flashy wrestler. He is just a tough, hard-nosed kid.
Well, getting here, he had 2 technical falls, winning 17-1 and 15-0, and then got a pin in the semifinals.
Yeah,
so
that one point was the only point he's had scored on him in the entire tournament. He won it last year at 142 pounds. He really hasn't come up much. It's just that the weight class has moved up, so he's about the same size. He cuts a lot of weight. I know he plays football at about 175 pounds, so he drops a lot of weight for wrestling. That's his sport, is wrestling. And
yeah, it's kind of tough. You think of Randy Hansen, just a freshman, to face a guy like that so aggressive in the finals. But Hansen from Stanton has done a great job to get here. He won 8-1, 4-1, and 10.
Yeah, he's a tough freshman. He's got 29 wins under his belt, wrestling for Jeff Rogish out there at Stanton. And he had to wrestle Bubba last week in the districts and lost that match. But we're still tied 5-5 in Class A in the 2nd period now.
In Class B, it's really tight, 4-3. Stephen Vach of Sydney leading Jeramie Schoepf of Seward, just 4-3. And in Class D, it's still 2-0. MJ Lyon of Rushville leading Jared Hemelstrand of Arapahoe. And, of course, MJ Lyon, the defending state champion from last year, and was 2nd as a junior, so he's a 3-time finalist.
Right, he's another one of those wrestlers. When he got 2nd in '94, was in Class C. Some of these schools bounce back and forth between B, C, and D.
And Rushville, of course, already wrapping up a state title in Class D rather handily. They were really solid down here.
There's a reversal for Vach. That gives him a 4-3 lead over there in Class B. If he wins this match, he would break Jason Deflis' Class B record of 138 wins. It would extend his record to 139-11.
Wow. In Class A now, it's a 7-5 lead for Brandon Smith of Gering over Joe Hug of Bellevue East, as those two continue to battle back and forth. And we still have a stoppage in Class C because of a blood situation. Again, that's something they're real careful about, and there is no injury time on blood, because that's something that they decided they need to get taken care of, and they're going to allow as much time as it takes.
And it's especially prevalent right now with the situation with boxer Tommy Morrison as well. We got an escape by Jeramie Schoepf. That'll tie it up 4-4 in Class B. Minute to go here. Minute to go in second period.
In Class D, it's a 2-0 lead for MJ Lyon of Rushville, who's on the top position right now with the black and orange singlet. Jared Hemelstrand of Arapahoe in the all-black singlet, and Hemelstrand now has gotten injured. In fact, I think he's been injured twice in this match now.
As we just start the third period already in Class A, Brandon Smith holding on to a 7-5 lead over Joe Hug. Joe Hug last year was actually beating Zach Dominguez in the finals before getting pinned. So I know he'd like to redeem that loss, but taking home a state title here his senior year for Bellevue East.
And still working on Bubba Stork from Arlington in Class C. And now they're looking over Jared Hemelstrand. Again, Hemelstrand comes in unbeaten, a senior at 35-0, so he's no pushover by any stretch. But he's got a tough one in MJ Lyon. These are two just outstanding wrestlers in Class D.
Seventh place, Beatrice with 7.
Bellevue East, we were talking about Joe Hug. Bellevue East has also had an impressive tournament. They're sitting third right now in Class A and could actually move up to second. They've got a couple wrestlers still yet to come here in the finals. Although Brandon Smith of Gering doing an excellent job of keeping him down.
Now they're back underway in Class C with only 14 seconds of first period. Still no score between Randy Hansen of Stanton and Bubba Stork of Arlington. So right now, Hansen able to hold his own.
We've got an unusual situation in Class B. I think that Jeramie Schoepf's claiming that Vach bit him. The referee's claiming that Schoepf put his arm into Vach's mouth. So how do you decide if he bit him or if he just started to put his arm in the wrong place?
By the way, our total attendance for the three-day state wrestling tournament, 40,700. That tops last year's mark of 39,215. So outstanding attendance here at the state wrestling tournament.
Is that a record?
I don't believe so.
124.5.
Well, they're underway in the second period in C, and Randy Hansen continuing to ride Bubba Stork pretty tough, and so that match is turning out to be a very solid match. In Class A, it's still 7-5. Brandon Smith of Gering leading Joe Hug of Bellevue East. In Class B, it's tied at 4-4 between Stephen Vach and Jeramie Schoepf. Vach from Sydney, Schoepf from Seward, and in D, MJ Lyon of Rushville with only a 2-0 lead on Jared Hemelstrand of Arapahoe.
There's an escape. There's an escape for Bubba Stork.
Yep, it'll be so now it's 1-0 lead for Bubba Stork of Arlington over Randy Hansen of Stanton with 1:20 to go in the second period.
We're just getting underway now in the third period in Class B. It's 4-4. Stephen Vach taking the down position. Stephen Vach is again of Sydney. He wrestles extensively over the summer. He went. They had a Maine exchange. A lot of the wrestlers we see on different teams went on that team. It's kind of an all-star type trip, and he went undefeated out in Maine. So
that's they'll head to the third period in Class D with MJ Lyon of Rushville leading only 2-0 over Jared Hemelstrand of Arapahoe. Again, Lyon will be on the bottom to start this period, and Jared Hemelstrand will be on the top.
MJ's brother DJ also wrestling over Rushville.
Escape in Class B, 5-4 lead now for Stephen Vach.
We've got a champion in Class A, Brandon Smith, of a winner 9-6 over Joe Hug. Joe Hug, the runner-up for the second year in a row. Brandon Smith never medaled here at the state tournament, and his first one is a state championship medal for the senior.
Bubba Stork has gotten a takedown in Class C. Stork from Arlington, again, unbeaten wrestler, took down Randy Hansen of Stanton. That's a number 1 against number 2. So Hansen, who's a freshman, comes in ranked number 2, but trending 3-0. They're still in the second period because they had a long stoppage due to a blood problem there.
there's always the controversy about which class is tougher or which wrestlers are tougher. I know that Vach actually wrestled Brandon Smith of Gering 4 times. Brandon Smith being the Class A state champ. Stephen Vach from Sydney has beaten him 4 times this year. So it just goes to show it doesn't matter what class you're in, you can still be the best.
And right now, Jeramie Schoepf of Seward leads Stephen Vach of Sydney 6-5 with 58 seconds to go in the 3rd period. So that is really turning into a heck of a match.
Bubba Stork getting a takedown to take a 3-0 advantage as they head into the 3rd period.
MJ Lyon now leading at 5-0 over Jared Hemelstrand of Arapahoe in Class D with 1:02 to go in the 3rd period.
There's an escape by Vach in Class B that ties it up 6-6 between him and Jeramie Schoepf of Seward.
We can't say enough how Schoepf has wrestled here at the state tournament. He has just been outstanding, but boy, Stephen Vach is as good as they come, and Vach shoots in. Looks like he is still fighting. It looks like he'll get a takedown and possibly some back points. He gets the takedown.
He gets a takedown, 28 seconds to go there.
And Schoepf, knowing he just goes right to his stomach to avoid the back points.
A quick reversal by Randy Hansen, the freshman in Class C. He down trails Bubba Stork, the returning state champ, 3-2. About 1:40 to go in that match.
Again, in Class A, Brandon Smith of Gering defeated Joe Hug of Bellevue East 9-6 to win a state title for Gering.
I was talking to Jeff Rogish, the coach of Stanton, earlier in the tournament, and he said it's pretty nice having a freshman as tough as Randy Hansen. He says it'd be pretty hard for him to mess that one up.
And Stork just got a reversal. Bubba Stork getting a reversal to go up 5-2 over Randy Hansen with 1:14 to go in that match. Meanwhile, in B, we have a champion now. Stephen Vach has won that 8-6, I believe, was the final.
8-6 was the final there.
So Vach really with a strong takedown right toward the end of the match once again, and wins it over Jeramie Schoepf of Seward 8-6. So
opens up his career with the 1st place medal as a freshman and closes it out with a state championship medal as a senior.
And now in Class D, we had a escape momentarily, but MJ Lyon of Rushville comes right back with the takedown, leads it 9-1, and that's the end of the match. So MJ Lyon of Rushville, a state champion, his 2nd state championship. So he's a 3-time finalist, wins twice, has 1 runner-up, and he wins at 9-1. He's a senior from Rushville, and Jared Hemelstrand will finish with just 1 loss on the year. Hemelstrand from Arapahoe, 35-1. And we're about done with 38 seconds to go now in Class C. Bubba Stork leads at 5-2, but he's got to be careful with Randy Hansen. Hansen still trying to get out of there. You know, that's a situation where if he could get a reversal and a near fall, you know, he could still get something going with 22 seconds left, but Stork pretty tough on top.
Yeah, he's a real good at riding the legs, and he's also a good cradler. And he's 36-0 right now. 29 of those have been by fall or technical fall. Wow. So,
you know, that's you know, it looks like we're going to have two-time state champions in this weight class, so pretty solid.
And 2 undefeated state champions. So.
And Stork just rolls through with now 10 seconds, and Hansen's not done yet. He's still not done. 7 seconds. Boy, I tell you, Bubba Stork hanging on to, and now they're going to give him the reversal.
No, I don't believe they're going to give it to him.
I thought they gave a reversal.
He signaled it, but I don't think he's going to give it to him.
No,
which is the right call.
Okay, so
Hansen didn't have control in that situation.
So the final, I didn't.
5-2 is what the final ends up in favor of Bubba Stork of Arlington. He beats Randy Hansen of Stanton to win his 2nd state title. He's just a junior. I'm sure we'll see him again next year.
Well, we could see those two. I was real impressed with both wrestlers. Stephen Vach has certainly proved to be one of the best wrestlers we've seen down here. Vach, again, a 4-time medalist. He has 2 state championships, a 2nd and 3rd place. You can't argue about that. In fact, this whole field was just outstanding as we take a look at it. Brandon Smith finishing his career with the state championship. And he beat the 2nd-ranked wrestler in Joe Hug of Bellevue East. So now let's wrap up the results at 145 pounds in Class A. Brandon Smith of Gering, a 9-6 victor over Joe Hug of Bellevue East. In Class B, the state champion is Stephen Vach of Sydney, 8-6 victor over Jeramie Schoepf of Seward. In Class C, it's Bubba Stork, a 5-4 victor over Randy Hansen of Stanton. And in Class D, the state champion MJ Lyon of Rushville defeats Jared Hemelstrand of Arapahoe 9-1. Now let's set up the championship matches for